You already know that Hainanese steamed chicken is not really steamed. Most of it is poached, where the whole chicken is submerged under water, cooked at a moderate temperature so that it retains its tenderness. Some of it are still steamed, like at All Day Chicken Lab, where they expose the breast above the surface level so as to allow the white meat and the dark meat to cook unevenly, since they both have different ideal temperatures. What you may not know is that roasted chicken is not roasted at all. Most of it is deep fried. There are two immediate tells. One is this wrinkly surface that you wouldn't get even with an oven. This is a common technique that you might see in chicken feet, lu rou or lu zhu jiao to some extent, and even that sambal egg dish that you might get at some Malay stores. And the second clue is that most of these roasted chicken rice places don't have an oven. So for the epilogue of the Best Chicken Rice series, we are finally doing roasted chicken rice. Today I have 3 of the most commented roasted chicken rice from you guys, and we are already at the first place, Henry, in Commonwealth. I got the usual, just that this time it's roasted. And the first thing that hits me is that, wow, there are ingredients in the soup. Did no other chicken rice receive the memo that you are allowed to do this? It's not much. I just see tofu and fried shallots. Really nice grains on the rice as well. Let's have a bite. Roasted chicken is objectively more flavorful than white chicken. This is not an opinion. By deep frying it, you are browning the surface, and through the Maillard reaction, if you were to count the amount of flavor compounds, roasted chicken is higher. So, I don't know. Should the series have included roasted chicken? Great chicken, great texture, that signature wrinkle, how tender the breast meat is. Very, very tasty. Along with the sauce that comes on top is exactly why one would order the roast chicken. The rice would be considered one of the better ones in the series. Very full rice grains, and this will be good news to some people. This is in the sticky camp. Off the top of my head, I cannot think of one better sticky camp rice in the series compared to this. There probably is, but I don't really pay much attention to that camp. You all by now would know that I'm way in the Li Li Fen Bing camp. But flavored very well, fragrance really nice. You all probably saw that I finished the rice first rather than the meat. Always a good sign. Great chili as well. Lots of layers, very spicy. And then again the soup. To be honest, the soup is bland. It doesn't taste like much. But that's all I want. A little bit of cabbage flavor, a little bit of shallots, some tofu for texture. That's really it. This soup will put them top 3 soups in the series. The bar is that low. But speaking of low bars, the things that I did not like. Maybe it's my first roasted chicken in a while, but it is a tad too salty. Roasted chicken surface already brings some salt. You add a sharp sauce on it, I think it's too much, even after balancing it out with the rice. The sauce goes very well with the cucumber, but just a tad too strong. The chicken at parts flew a little too close to the sun. I've explained this point in episode 3. I don't mind it. I would rather they try. I can trim away these intimidating parts. I would rather majority of the chicken has the ideal texture. And then to repeat myself, I'm not a sticky rice kind of person. But great chicken rice. Thinking back to the series conversation between kampong and broiler, deep frying the chicken like this really circumvents the problem. While in a more subtle cook, like in the white chicken rice, you really need the quality of the product to shine. Deep frying it easily adds the flavor that you will otherwise miss for a broiler. I'm curious how much of the chicken flavor I will be able to taste today. So let's move on to the second chicken rice. We are now back at Maxwell, at some place we almost visited, Uncle Louis' famous Hainanese chicken rice. And this time, the wrinkle is way more obvious. This has been deep fried either more aggressively or longer. I cannot tell. The chili and the ginger looks very promising as well. Very bright color on the chili, a lot of pulp for the ginger, and again, we have ingredients in the soup. This time we have celery. A bit ironic now that the epilogue has better soup. Rice super full and super Li Li Fen Ming. It'll be funny, right, if we get a top 3 contender in the epilogue. Really good rice texture. Plump, whole, separated. Exactly what I would like. Something about the seasoning isn't quite to my preference, but it's nothing too out there. I just don't find it as addictive as the last one in terms of seasoning. But easily easily helped by the chili and ginger. Very high quality. This ginger shouldn't be free flow. And again, soup. Really, having such a quality soup is like, I think it shows on my face. But the most contentious thing on this plate is the sauce. Individually, I like it a lot. Sweet, salty, fragrant. It is the type of all-purpose sauce, in my opinion. I think you can use this with veggie. I think you can use this with steamed fish. But in terms of the roasted chicken, somehow it doesn't do too well. The key appeal of roasted chicken is that salty, chickeny flavor of the skin, but the sauce here seems to be competing with it. While the color of this chicken is brought deeper than the first place, I feel like I tasted the appeal of roasted chicken more just now. But to be honest, I'm not sure if what I'm saying is accurate. You all know I take like 3 months to look for what I'm tasting before I do a finale, but today we just got to work with what we have. I can say with confidence that the sauce is pretty strong, and I have said before that I would think roasted chicken is a recipe that can accommodate sauce much better, whereas compared with white chicken, any saltier sauce will overpower it. Still, not a bad one, as you can see. So, let's move on to our third and last place. For the last chicken rice of the day, we are at Tong Kee along Margaret Drive. And am I being pranked? 3 out of 3 soups when we have necked so much during the series proper. This is literally all I asked for. Overcooked, simple veggie soup. The browning on the chicken is on the lighter side this time. Little bit of a broken grains on the rice. Let's give this a go. My favorite chicken of the day. The cook itself isn't particularly different. In fact, for all 3 chickens today, if I were to have them in a blind taste test, I am not confident that I'll be able to tell them apart. But the thing that sets Tong Kee apart is the saucing. It seems that even in roasted chicken, I like this 70-80% chicken flavor, 20-30% sauce ratio. The sauce here is mostly oil, less on the soya sauce, so it provides flavor without overpowering the chicken. In terms of intrinsic chicken flavor, this is the most that I tasted today. Rice is more on the sticky camp, slightly broken grains, and heavier on the aromatics, which makes it light and easier to go in for a second bite. And then soup. I'm being pranked today, right? There's no way that we've done 48 plates of chicken rice and we ran into how many MSG soup, and the roasted chicken rice episode just nice 3 for 3. The chili is remarkably similar to where we just came from, Uncle Louis, and the ginger puree is not seasoned. It's straight up bitter/bland. Normally people put a little bit of salt so that it can function as a sauce on its own, but this is how they serve it. Other than that, what I dislike about this is not so much about this place, Tong Kee, but of roasted chicken as a whole. I will go and think how I should say this. So I'll see you guys at Cafe O'Clock. We are now at Lola's at Holland Village, and I got myself a piccolo, very cute. So, really strong chocolatey taste. Interesting. Ooh. Anyway, recap. First of all, I learned that, you know, the age-old question that asks if you could only eat one dish for the rest of your life, what would it be? A common answer would be chicken rice. I found out firsthand that you can actually eat chicken rice forever. It's not a meme. If you were to ask me to do a season 2 right now, next week, I'm down. But that said, today's chicken rice were all good. Obviously, it is a tall task to go up against what has already been featured in the series. But even so, I don't think any of them are weak. It is still a little bit funny to me how I got 3 proper soups today. If I had all the power in the world, or at least in our local food scene, I would ban the MSG soup. It's still that same line. The average chicken rice in Singapore is very good chicken rice. But to come down to the roasted versus white argument, I like the white chicken more. You know, you're free to like whatever you want, but here's my argument. The roasted chicken has a higher floor, lower ceiling. When you deep fry the chicken, the subtleties of the chicken in chicken rice are almost all washed away. You taste less of the pure chicken flavor because of so many competing elements, mostly the skin. And this must be the latest that I mentioned this word in an episode, jelly. When you deep fry, the vigorous bubbling of the hot oil will scramble the gelatin such that it cannot congeal back together even after the cook. That is why when cooking white chicken, you don't want it to be in a rolling boil. You don't want that physical agitation. And while I did say that jelly is not the be-all and all, now that you removed it, it does feel like something is missing. 人是很犯贱的, right. But above that, I'm not sure if how many of you concur. Can you reliably tell different roasted chickens apart from different places? Having them back to back, other than perhaps the saucing, is really hard to tell. The roasted chicken is more predictable. I think you can reliably get to a certain level of deliciousness, whereas with white chicken there is more skill involved. There are more things to be careful of. This is a little too late to mention, but I think all 3 chicken rice today specialize in the roasted chicken, at least to a certain extent. You can see from their storefront that they have more roasted chicken than white chicken, and I specifically asked on IG for places that are good at roasted chicken. So if we were to take this as the upper tier of roasted chicken rice, I think white chicken rice is better. Like if you compare this bite to like Chicken House, Minky, Natch Chicks, Tong Kee, there's so much more finesse in the latter and way more interesting to eat. But that's it, the verdict for today. 1 plate I'll walk for the chicken rice, 2 plates I'll take a bus for the chicken rice, and 3 plates I'll go anywhere in Singapore for the chicken rice. And the chicken rice today gets... two. I didn't do any moderation in the finale, but just as a epilogue footnote, if I were to moderate, I think all of the ratings can come down by 1 plate. Singapore is just too saturated with good chicken rice that it doesn't make sense to travel more for it. There is probably a very good chicken rice really near you. But I'll leave the rating as is. It's not that serious. As long as you all understand the spirit in which these ratings are given, I think that's good enough for me. But for now, I hope you all enjoyed the video. The next series should be coming up. I'll be asking for recommendations really soon. So please give them to me then. I am very excited. I don't think many people will guess this series. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!